yourself. So let's get right into this today. I just want to invite us to take a couple deep breaths to get centered and grounded as we prepare to receive a tarot card reading to guide us for our week ahead and the different energies. So before I bring on our beautiful tarot card reader, I just want to, if you can, just sit for a moment, close your eyes, and draw in some really deep breaths into your belly. Breathe in and out. And if you have those essential oils, just go ahead and grab those right now and just rub a little bit in the palm of your hand. Okay, got this blend of DDR, it's frankincense and wild orange, thyme and oregano. It's really spicy and sweet. So we're gonna draw in a deep breath together and just allow your body to soften. Really soften into your breath. Feel the way that your breath rises and falls. And I just want you to remember the love that you are as you're breathing here. Just tap this right here. And just really think about the vibration of love, that feeling that it feels to love someone who's very dear to you. Just really allow yourself to drop into this heart space, this vibration of love. And now send that love into your own body. And just go on some more deep breaths and really feel yourself getting centered. Sending this love inside of your body. Just dropping any judgment, dropping any shame, any guilt, or any fears. Exhale and just relax. Let go. And just don't judge anything that's happened in your life or in your day so far. Just drop all of that and just remember that you're here in this moment to create beauty. And as you breathe into your belly, feel your energy. Feel your breath moving. Feel the breath move you. Bring new life into all the cells in your body with this breath that you're drawing in. And the more that you massage your internal organs with your breath, you're bringing forth your life energy in a way that you never have before. So as a creator, and as we're coming into this Marvelous Monday session, just something to contemplate is, what can you bring to life that wasn't here before? We are creators. We get to wake up every day and we have choices. We get to decide what we want to do. We get to help others walk through this life experience. We get to become who we want. Sometimes that means becoming the opposite of what our families thought that we were going to be. So yeah, just remembering that you are this love and that you have the power to breathe new life into something that wasn't there before this week. And I think that that's really powerful. It's like we're all artists in a way. Now that I've softened you up a little bit, I would like to introduce our tarot card reader, the beautiful Chelsea Andre, who is tuning in today from Napa Valley in California. Are you there, Chelsea? Just so grateful to have this beautiful lady hop on and do these tarot card readings. She's a Kundalini yoga practitioner and dance teacher, and just an amazing goddess of like many gifts and talents, and such a harmony cultivator. So we're so grateful to have you here, Chelsea, to guide us with a little tarot card tune in.
Thank you, Alicia. That was such a beautiful introduction. Love it. Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy to start the Mondays with you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little quiet. I just had to turn up my volume though, so I can hear you great.
Okay, I can probably speak up a little bit. I'm actually on my way to my next destination. So I'm about to park. And, just settle in for a second. Always on the move.
I know Chelsea drops in and does this reading on her way to work. So thank you for giving us a little taste of your weekly tarot card reading on this beautiful Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad to be back. I just needed a little extra time for myself last week on Monday. So I was really sad to miss our session. But some days you just need a little bit more time. And I'm glad I listened because it was definitely a long, a long week. So having that little extra bit myself really went a long way. So.
Oh, yeah. You know, one thing I think too, it's like we always have to take time for our bodies and our health and family first, always. So I think that's so crucial when we're on this path.
Yes, I've gotten these little reminders more than ever recently. Little taps on the shoulder, little nudges. So, I wanted to start off our reading by saying that this is one of the most powerful readings I've gotten in quite some time, as all the cards are so interrelated and so pointed at one specific idea. And so I don't know about you guys, but this February has been a pressure cooker so far. The last couple weeks have flown by with little rest in between each very, very busy day. And so I believe that it's leading us into this really exciting season of spring to create and really set forth all of the groundwork that we've already laid for ourselves, and really just put all of this hard work into motion. So the first, you guys hear me?
It's a little bit
How's that? Is this better?
Yep, that's better. Mm-hmm.
Yay! Fantastic. I have arrived. So we're going straight into our first card, which is the King of Wands, and a very powerful natural born leader. King of any suit is always going to embody a powerful and discerning leader. And this one of Wands in this suit is all about inspiration and spirit. And so this king is guiding us towards these grand visions for ourselves and our long-term success. So with this pure fire energy the wands create for us in its most masculine form, we are stepping into our role as a visionary leader. We are ready to direct our people towards a common goal. We have a very clear vision where we want to go and how we're manifesting that vision to support everyone around us. This leader in particular is known to be charismatic, focused, determined, and most rooted in their beliefs and creation of their vision. So we are looking at leading our life with intent and especially in this long-term view. There is a maturity that we see all of
these compounding aspects, starting to really unfold and connect the dots between all of it. And the achievement that we will be granted is sure, because we're very, very clear about our future direction and how exactly we will get there. We don't waste our time on activities or other relationships that we know will lead us nowhere, or that will be simply a distraction and deterrence of our long-term goals. And it's important that we are really looking at this very clear-cut, direct, and robust course of action, making sure that these sustainable long-term goals towards success will have a lasting impact on our lives. So we are here purely to leave a legacy. This card also represents an opportunity that is presenting itself, and it instills that we have the power to take on this challenge with wherever that meets us, that we are, by and large, the determining factor in the situation. And if we want this opportunity to be successful, it will be. We can create any outcome we wish. And so the most important is to be so mindful about our intention and our vision, as we possess the power. So the second card in the reading is relating exactly to this. And as the second card I draw, this is more or less looking at a challenge to our very first card. And I drew another ace this week. This is the Ace of Swords. So swords are all about our intellect, about our mental realms. And as the ace of any suit, it is representing the very beginning of our journey. So this is a breakthrough. These are brand new ideas. This is more centered focus or mental clarity, especially pertaining to our success. So this is marking a wave of new energy from the intellectual realms. We might be on the verge of a very significant breakthrough or a new way of thinking that is allowing us to view the world with clear eyes. This card recommends that we meditate regularly to clear away any mental chatter and make the most of our intellectual potential. Our mind is in expansion mode. We are open and ready to embrace new ideas. We are craving stimulation and learning new things. So as we thrive on inspiration, new ideas, original thinking, and more vision, we are excited to pursue these new opportunities that draw upon our creative and intellectual abilities. So just going hand in hand with exactly what the Wands King is beholding for us, right? This is asking us to be really, really careful and so potently clear about where exactly our mental focus is guiding us and how that is leading us to these goals and long-term success and vision. So now is the most wonderful time to start a new project. This is a pure green light towards anything that is requiring our intellect, our communication skills, and our mental power. We are at the beginning of the journey, but we can definitely sense this energy has been building for quite some time. So really take this moment and opportunity to channel all of that bottled energy into the right moves, and success is ensured. So as we maintain a success mindset, we'll be able to easily navigate any challenges that will arise along this path with ease. The last thing that's important to look at any sword in particular is this facet of pure power. And with the sword imagery, looking at this double edge, with power comes great responsibility. So undoubtedly, this will allow us to really leverage our opportunities for the greater good, but we make sure that we're not utilizing all of this power and potent intellectual energy for anything selfish or aggressive and so forth. So our last card is the underlying theme for both or all of the cards here in the reading. And this is the Page of Pentacles. And this card has been coming up several times within the last 2 months. If you guys have been kind of making notes, it's appeared inverted as well as upright. And again, as it's appeared upright today, this card is looking at pure manifestation, giving us a green light towards financial opportunity and developing our skills. So as a page, just like Ace, this is bringing a message of brand new beginnings, of inspiration. This is the very initial stage of a creative project or venture. So this is representing this growing awareness of our value of money, wealth, possessions, career, physical health, and how exactly we're manifesting more of these material blessings in our lives. So as we welcome these new opportunities and blessings to our material life and wish to discover how to turn all these dreams into our reality, it's most important that we tap into our ability to manifest our personal goals and dreams and really capitalize on this initial motivation and energy that we are granted, right, from the Ace of Swords, and begin this process of turning dreams into reality. So staying focused, most importantly, on the practical, the tangible elements, right? This is that grounding energy of earth. Making sure that we are relating back to our common sense and being very pragmatic in our approach, and this will lead us to the solutions we seek. So this card often appears when we are ready to up-level our skills or perhaps learn something new so we can manifest more of our dreams. The more skills we are able to bring to the table, the more goals we can achieve. So we have the enthusiasm, we have the passion, we have the energy, we have the mental capacity. Now we are looking at this commitment and devotedness to see our venture through. So this is a really gorgeous time to, again, just take hold of all that we've been manifesting and working to create in this brand new year, right? So in the beginning of the year, we're often asking ourselves, okay, what goals, what are our dreams, and really reconnecting to, how that has shown up for us in the past and what we want to, move forward into. And so with this month of February, it's joining this powerful creation month of January and putting on the map into reality the bridge, right, into this really intense time that the spring equinox is bringing us in March, and allowing us to set into this rhythm that will create all that we are striding for. So I'm seeing the Ace of Swords as personally a way to really up-level my daily habits especially regarding to development and sleep patterns and so forth, and giving myself that edge every single day, creating those patterns, more reading and more stimulation, more journaling, more writing, and just more time to really sharpen my sword, right? And take the time and care and awareness to really stay focused and centered on all that we are manifesting, and plan it out, plot out. Close friends, her slogan that I absolutely love is plan your work and work your plan. If you're not doing those, then it's not working. And I love that. And so I've gotten away from my daily planner for quite some time with the kind of crazy busyness that we can all kind of get tied up in. But I just want to end this by saying that I hope you all are feeling this really wonderful, powerful energy that our natural born leadership skills have led us to this call, and are ready to step into that in a really, really beautiful way, and to manifest all of our dreams and our material blessings could ever want, and make our reality by embodying that power of mental clarity and bringing through new ideas and ways of thinking and being into your life. So that is where I am, and thank you guys for listening. That was, I know, kind of a lot today, but like I said, really, really amazing, potent reading for this week.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. That was very potent. And I don't know about all of you that are tuning in right now, but I was definitely taking some notes there yeah, I just feel like a lot of those themes have been really relevant for myself. I've been really doing this course about the law of attraction lately, and so much of just, this whole concept of manifesting and calling in and creating and, kind of dreaming things up and then bringing them into this world, and tying that into mental discipline. And this whole idea of like what we focus on magnifies. And so thank you so much, Chelsea. That was beautiful. We so appreciate you sharing your wisdom and your expertise on these calls, considering that you're also on your way to work too. So thank you for carving that time out. And, I always think it's so interesting because we plan to do these calls together, and then we just, we don't meet with each other, but our topics always seem to align. So I think that somehow today I have aligned a topic that can really help us do some of the work that Chelsea was drawing our attention to. So if you can, Chelsea, if you can mute yourself, let's see. Let's make sure you're muted. And that way I don't have to mute you on my end. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, that's not working. Okay, there we go. So let's kind of dive into it. I have a success kind of confidence boosting activity for us today. Let me see here. Just to really help us stay on this path of mental focus, really stepping into our role as a creator in this reality. I want to focus for this session to really start to identify how we can start to turn some of our dreams into a reality. We also have the full moon that is coming up. So some of you may be feeling some of the energies of this full moon. And so one of the things, I feel like a news reporter, I've got all these like notes that I take for you and then update on the week. So right now, it's really important to have courage to stick to our convictions. Right now is a great time to not give a fig about conforming to the status quo. um, right now, we could be, like Chelsea was saying, this area of the cosmos, we're passing through like the constellation of the Phoenix rising from the ashes. So perhaps we will learn some secrets, some cosmic secrets, and receive that in our practices. So with this full moon, it's a really important, because the magnetism is so strong. So this is an important time for us to focus on what we want to attract. It's not really the best time to focus so much on the stuff that's bothering us, because it's going to magnify that and turn those energies up even more so. It'll just basically kind of pull the demons in if you let it. So I want to, for this Marvelous Monday, get you focused on getting really grounded in this whole concept of essentialism. So I have this really great book. It's called Essentialism, and one of the little segment pieces that I'm going to share with you is from this book. And it's kind of in this whole topic of how we're setting our schedule, what we're committing ourselves to, and actually strengthening our boundaries and having some discipline. So the whole concept is to look for the way that we can be of the highest level of contribution. The highest level of contribution to ourselves, like in our own lives, in our relationships, the highest level of contribution in our careers, as well as in the world. So if we're more selective, it will unlock this next level of achievement. So the whole idea is to make like a paradigm shift. Like, we are born into this really busy world where in this industrial revolution, people really praised like, oh, I'm so busy. And that was like this thing to brag about. But actually really getting stuff done is eliminating all this busy work and really replacing that with important projects that are going to actually make a difference to the whole community, instead of just a race to nowhere. Just all these busy daily tasks doesn't really amount to anything meaningful. And like Chelsea talked about in our card reading, this whole concept of this legacy that we're leaving, and we have this life, this short life that we live. And so how are we really making the most use of the time that's available to us? Because it's slipping away very quickly, and life is short, and we really have to harness this courage to get onto the right path, and so that we can accomplish what we want to in the little time that we actually have left here. So, you know, this will, something that's going to really be important is creating space to think, and really creating space to work on the projects that are the most important, rather than just being so busy, right? Creating more space to breathe, setting up a meditation altar space, and where you can really take that time to tune in. Or if you're an artist, setting up your artist space, or your desk, or your office, or if it's a relationship, really organizing yourself in that way, simplifying, decluttering, and having less. And, creating a reality where you're celebrating having more time to meditate and listen. So what I want to help you do this week, or just inspire, and myself, because I'm right here doing this with you, is to help us pursue less but better, and start to eliminate some of this, non-essentials from our reality, some of the things that we're allowing in through the lack of mental and emotional discipline, that are not really helping to move us forward in our highest good and our highest direction. So better, boundaries, having boundaries with people in your life is like toughening the criteria. So I'm going to give you 3 steps to kind of really get grounded in this whole concept of having mental and emotional discipline around really keeping the focus on what you're creating and what you're manifesting and what you're attracting. So the first thing that you want to do, most people, when you're looking to have like a partnership with somebody, you're looking to improve a relationship, or perhaps you're building a business, and a lot of people fall into this trap of saying yes to everything that comes your way. And actually, the people that are successful don't just say yes to every single opportunity that comes your way. You really have to take the time to explore your options. And saying yes and committing yourself and overcommitting yourself to things is not necessarily going to help you end up on the right road. And this is in all areas of business as well as romantic relationships. Like, one area that I feel I have a lot of success is my relationship. And, a lot of people, like, I have such an amazing partnership with the partner that I'm with. Like, I am so blessed. And a lot of people are always like, "How, you're so lucky that you have that." But a lot of that was saying no to opportunities that came my way because I knew that it wasn't the right fit. And to just really be honest about, if this opportunity that comes your way is actually really going to inspire you, it's going to draw out the best in you, if it's going to meet a significant need, like it's going to benefit people. So as you're exploring your options in your business and your relationships, there's 3 questions. So if you're kind of like, how do I explore my options? When you're looking at something and you're thinking about getting involved in it, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Do you feel it deeply inspired by this? Or what do you feel deeply inspired by? The next one is, what are you particularly talented at? And what meets a significant need in the world? And so if you can answer these 3 questions and really look a little bit deeper beyond the surface of just saying yes to whatever comes your way, but really taking that time to contemplate, is this a deeply inspiring movement that you're going to participate in? Is this something that you feel that you have a genius or a talent in, or that it's drawing out your talent or genius? And does this meet a specific need in the world? Like, is this going to create a situation for the greater good? And so what we're looking for is doing the right thing the right way at the right time. And tying back into just looking for what is our highest level of contribution. And I like to think of this whole concept of exploring options as not settling for whatever comes your way just because something's coming your way, right? So that kind of leads into the next segment of saying no. And this is really the cornerstone of mental and emotional discipline, and eliminating non-essentials from your reality. And this is something that I really have to work on a lot as I've learned how to build my own business. I was one of those people in the beginning. I was like, yes, yes, yes to everything. And you just get super overwhelmed. And I heard this whole concept that really blew my mind. And it says, when you say yes to everything that comes your way, you're actually not choosing. You're deciding to not make a choice because you're trying to do it all, right? And so if you don't make a choice, someone else is going to choose for you. So saying no gives you the opportunity to give that choice by saying yes to something that is a solid yes. And I'm using the analogy of my relationship again, because once again, this is an area that feels comfortable for me. But if there was a slight no in my brain about the thought to date somebody, I just learned to listen to that and really go for that solid, oh my gosh, this is a yes, yes, yes. And you feel that screaming in your body. And we really want to kind of eliminate some of those things that don't feel right. There's also, so there's this whole concept of emotional discipline around social pressures too. Because a lot of times when we say yes to stuff, it's because we want everyone to feel like we accept them. So if someone asks us to do a favor for them, or they want us to do this project or help them, we're just like, oh, you're important to me, yes, yes, yes. And then we end up being drained and we don't have time for our own projects and our own dreams to come true because you're just feeling like you need to give into this social pressure. So it does take some emotional discipline to like compassionately and lovingly say no. It's definitely a practice, but having this ability will really create an opportunity to practice mental discipline, practice emotional discipline, and the power of saying no creates more yes, right? It's like boundaries so that you can receive. And so the third concept within this, so first we're saying explore your options. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I've been like recovering from this little cold. I know the oils, how to get sick. Sometimes it overtakes you. But anyways, okay, so we have this whole concept of exploring your options, saying no to the stuff that's not really essential. And through this process, you actually create a system for you to execute. Because what you've done is you've removed the obstacles. So you're not really forcing it. You're not really forcing things to make it happen. And once again, I tie it into the analogy of my relationship because I said no and I didn't allow myself to dilute my energies by maybe like getting involved in situations that seemed logically like, oh, I should go for this person, like, you know, they like me, whatever, you know, but to actually just say no, that doesn't feel 100% right. My heart's not saying a yes. And I also see that some of these different energies aren't moving me forward. So in saying no, then it created this pathway to welcome in my soulmate and like my amazing partner because I didn't have to force it. I didn't have to go out there and look for it. I just simply eliminated these non-essentials and did not invest my energy and said no. And then I was open and available to taking the action that was exactly where I wanted to be, the right place. I was in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And so that is the power of mental discipline and emotional discipline and really taking the time to get grounded and exploring our options and, you know, really getting clear about some of the things that Chelsea brought forward in that powerful and potent tarot card reading about manifesting our goal and our dream and really saying, I have this vision of this thing that I want to experience in my life, whether it be growing your wealth or welcoming new opportunities or perhaps turning a dream into reality. And there's almost this vision that there's all this mental and emotional clutter that we sort of have to clean up and simplify a little bit so that we can create this rhythm that really helps us settle into what we're striving for and attract that. So once again, our theme here is really look for your highest level of contribution for your life, for your relationships, for the world. And I have a contemplation I've gone on and kind of chatted for quite a bit here, and I would really love to start to hear a little bit from some of you that are here today. And I want to leave you with this contemplation of, and it was from a poet. Shoot, I forgot to write her name on here, but write this down if you can, please. Just a simple sentence. So tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. Just want you to contemplate that. You might not know the answer right now, but really start to think about that. What is it that you'd like to do with this beautiful, fleeting, wild, exotic life that you have been blessed with? And, you know, this is a big part of our journey here, is that we get to be creators. This world, there's a lot of things that people want or expect us to do that aren't really logical. So yeah, I really just hope that in some of your answers with what you want to do with this beautiful life that you've been gifted, and I'll give you some ideas, is like focus on what you're being guided to do. Focus on that. Or perhaps choose to interact with others that are harmonizing with you and drawing out the best in you and really setting that higher standard for those relationships. Let's see. You know, if we allow ourselves to say yes to too many of the things that come our way, then we're not being guided to do what we're doing. We're doing stuff because someone else thought that we should. And we're allowing other people's shadows and fears and insecurities to conquer our own life path. So it's not too late. It's not too late to reel it back in, save your honor, save your dreams, step into your power, have boundaries, forgive, and really just start to put the focus on what it is that you want to do with your one wild and precious life. So let's open up the space to have a sharing circle, to just start to reflect off of each other a little bit. I think this will do some good heart healing to kind of talk about what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to create with your one wild and precious life. So let's go around and have a little sharing circle and hear from those of you that are here. Thanks so much for joining us today. Does anyone have a big vision that you're simmering or brewing on? Or, oh wait, I see Susie, are you speaking up? Here, let me try to unmute you. There we go. Were you trying to speak up, Susie?
Okay. No, I was actually just kind of clearing my throat, but I could speak. Yeah. You know, I'm having a really hard time, actually. That's what, like this year I'm really trying, or the past couple of years, I've really been trying to focus on like what I really do want to manifest out of my life. I feel like I came to Humboldt because I wanted to save the world, and I went to HSU and I got an engineering degree, and it's like the further in it I got, the more I realized like it's not just what you know, it's like who you know, and I have like so little control over making a really big difference, and it really made me like pessimistic kind of about that. And then I couldn't find a job when I graduated, and I ended up working at the mall, and so now I'm a manager at this store in the mall, although I actually really enjoy my job. I get to do most of the buying, and it's like this cool hippie import store, and so I enjoy it. But I'm starting to really want to leave the area and just go somewhere else. But I'm making decent money at my job, and I've been working there for a long time. So it's like really nerve-wracking for me to actually think like, okay, I could start off on minimum wage doing whatever, if things don't really pan out how I want them. I've thought about starting my own store, which is a huge gamble because that's a very big investment. And if I have to move, like if I want to move somewhere else, and I really need to pick the right place to make it work right. And there's a lot, and then I think like maybe that's not the best thing to do anyway, and maybe I should look at other options. I'm really like not very focused in manifesting. And I just turned 40 this year, which for me is like, oh my God, I'm getting old and like I should have my shit together. But I don't. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't really know what I want right now. And maybe my job is, maybe I've been trying for years to manifest something else. And I feel like it's just never coming up. Like every time I think I know what I want, there's some reason, or my job will like demand even more out of me, or I'll finally get what I want out of my job, and sometimes I think maybe that's a sign that I am doing what I should do, but maybe it just means that nothing will open up until I really let go of this, which is, I don't know if I'm really ready to do that.
Yeah, I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for being here with us and just joining us, and just welcome once again to our session. And I love what you just shared because, I myself have gone through a lot of changes, even just within owning my own business and like having to shift out of certain things or ways that I was doing stuff. So, I think that's part of the beauty of our life journey is we're always figuring it out. Like there's never going to reach a point where we're like, all right, I got the dreams, like sealed the deal, like, cause you'll get that. And then I'm sure our vision will expand, and you know what I mean? So it's like the whole infinity, the concept of infinity. It's like, we're always going to keep evolving and reaching towards more light, more information, more ways to shine our light. So I guess for me, I would love to hear from others too on the call if something that Susie shared stood out. But one thing that I thought of was like what you said when you first moved here, that you wanted to like save the world. And I love that. And I would say like sometimes it's easy to get like pulled in all these different directions. Like, oh, I feel like I should be doing this, or why am I not on this timeline? But to really like get back to the purpose of things and to really get back to the core of it. And so it's like, rather than trying to figure out all these other details, like getting back to like, what does that look like for you? Like, what does saving the world, like, how do you envision that you can do that? Because obviously like it's a group project, but hey, I think everyone on this call, it's safe to say, probably wants to save the world or would help contribute to that mission in some way. So if we all do our part, totally possible to like shift consciousness and create global peace and like sustainability. And I think that is a definite like virtuous mission to work towards. And that sounds like there's a deep nugget of purpose within there. So it's like, what does that look like for you? And write it out, like you don't have to necessarily like share that unless something came to mind right now, but it's kind of fun to just free write about it and to not really like place any judgments on what you're saying or what's coming out of you, or like judge like, oh, that's not possible. you know, because when I first started dreaming big, I had this big dream of like taking care of animals and having animal sanctuary and like growing my own food and having like this beautiful like sanctuary property. And like at that time I was just like, this dream seems kind of like too big and scary. But as the years have gone on, like it still is there. And it's like, you know, and I can see how it helps move me forward. Like, what are the steps that I'm going to take that are going to move me forward, that are going to help me be in a position to offer that level of contribution to society? So that could be some fun activities to poke around in. What's your superhero vision of saving the world?
Well, I mean, it was like building desalination plants and like forcing, you know, all of the coastal areas to actually filter the ocean water, which would help with the rising, you know, water levels, and also just create clean water from an actual available source, you know, and like solar powered, so that we have the energy and all of that. And it's really just like, it's so political. Everything is so political that in water rights, I mean, like, you know, I just realized that it's really not something you can just step into. That, and of course, you know, at that point I was a single mom, and I'm like, I couldn't even do a lot of the opportunities that came my way to really work towards that goal because I couldn't bring my daughter or whatever. And so I don't know, I've kind of given up on that area, although maybe you bring up a good point, like how are there other ways that I can do that? Because now I'm kind of like just trying to manifest something, maybe a job where I can travel, that pays me to travel and see the world and like go new places, because that's something that really makes me happy. So maybe I could still intertwine the two in a different way.
I think so. And I think it's not about having this perfectly like formulated thing. It's kind of like, what do they say? Like fail till you get there. Like, or just start somewhere. Just like the only thing that's left to do is the next step. So it's just like, what's one way to start that now? And it doesn't have to always be work. Like sometimes, you know, one thing that's really helped me get onto my path is just like joining common interest groups and really like taking that step first, like starting to get into an environment where I'm immersing myself in an environment that is going to fuel my inspiration, because we mirror each other, right? So it's like, even if you're watching webinars, or maybe there's like a community group to go get involved in, but really like allowing yourself to maybe, you know, say no to some of the other activities to carve out just a little bit of extra time to do that, because we definitely need to heal our oceans. So the world needs your vision. Like, don't let that die, please. We need to keep it alive. And not many people have carved the pathway there. And I think that's why it's so intimidating sometimes for our dreams, because there's not this roadmap that's there. But we're all creators. We all have this artist within us that has the spark of the divine, that divine creative energy. So we all have the power to do it, but it does take a little bit of courage to really like step onto that path. I would love to hear other voices. Does someone else have some thoughts to add into this pool of meaning?
I have to go. I have to get to work, but I thank you.
Thank you so much, Susie. So appreciate hearing from you today. Have a beautiful week.
You too.
All right, so who's next?
Oh, I guess I'll be next because I really got some hot fire I want to spit and talk about. What Susie said was about saving the world is what I want to do too. But I want it because in a way I want to do it just creating absolutely beautiful relationships in every aspect, like just like with ourselves, with the people who like admire us and appreciate us, like as individuals, you know. And because like sometimes like I see I see so much depression and so much chaos around, with especially how we treat each other as human beings. It's just like got me like thinking like, how can I turn this around and just create beautiful relationships to really help humanity evolve and grow beautifully? Because I'm gonna be crazy to say this, but I'm crazy enough to really create that kind of community, and just not just like not for myself. I don't want to say I'm doing this for me. I just really want to just help people, evolve, pursue their dreams and be healthy, and just really pursue what they want to do in life, and just don't be stuck in the matrix and let the system tell you what you should do, and with the stuff I'm doing, like like you said, it's really beautiful. And with the card reading Chelsea did, I appreciate what she did as well. It's just like, it's really, I'm crazy enough to do this, and I'm really just want to create that absolute beautiful relationships in every aspect, because it doesn't have to be like work, for instance, and it could be from, let's say, like you want to start a tribe of people that really just want to spread beauty and just create beauty in the world, and by just like having drum circles to where you just feel like you're honoring your divine self, whether you're a man or a woman, you're honoring your divine feminine, and you're honoring your divine masculine, and you really just connect with people to do stuff that you love to do, and really just grow, evolve, and grow beautifully. And it could be, and also if you're like for ourselves, it's also good to really set healthy boundaries, what we want in life and what we don't want, because saying, like you said before, Alicia, saying yes to everything can really be overwhelming and dangerous. By saying no to certain things that really doesn't resonate with you, that can really be healthy, and it can really just open other opportunities, as well as other stuff, and as well as you have healthy boundaries of what you want and what you don't want. So I'm kind of want to create those kind of relationships, and also when you just like those kind of actions alone can actually help the world, because we're loving ourselves first, and we're loving the people who really love ourselves, each other. We love each other, and that, and the energy in those actions alone really just really help the world be more beautifully. Like for instance, like say we have a group that really wants to save the oceans, save the trees, or save the animals. With those actions alone, they want to do that. It really just helps the world grow more beautifully, and helps humanity grow more beautifully as well.
Well, and one thing that kind of stood out to me that you brought up, Jay, is like this whole concept of like building this beautiful relationship, but like kind of what you said about, you look out in the world and you see that there's a lot of like depression and like chaos and sadness. And I feel like that stood out to me too, because it's something that I have been thinking about this weekend, of how within us there's this wiring for suffering, and it goes so deep. Like it goes way farther back than just us here in the skin suit right now. It's like we have this encoded in our genetics, in our DNA, because not only our physical attributes get passed down, but also our emotional and behavioral attributes of our families get passed on. Their traumas that they experience get passed on. So there is this whole idea, like, and this ties into something that Chelsea said in her card reading about that we have this opportunity to develop new skills, so that we can create like a financial opportunity out of also like creating our dreams and sustain ourselves in doing that. And I think that what I see in what you're saying, Jay, is like developing this new skill to create new pathways of us inside of ourselves to experience more beauty, more love, more of what we want, rather than keep going to this freaking feedback loop of like depression and anxiety. And I'm not perfect. Like I have struggled with depression and anxiety my entire life. And I've been on this, like adamantly on this path of like, no more. I want to break that cycle, but it's a process, because there's obstacles and there's triggers and there's things that get in the way. So I see like this vision of really going to work to develop new skills that teach us how to reprogram our inner wiring. And this ties back into that mental discipline, emotional focus. Like, where are we lingering? And, you know, sometimes I think it's not about like pushing the depression away. There's always a story behind that feeling. So it's really giving that, validating that story and acknowledging it. And, you know, sometimes those feelings can actually be like the most powerful motivator and like reveal to us where our deepest like passion and purpose is. So it is worth looking at that to perhaps transmute all that gunk and all that energy and be like an alchemist and transform that into something new and something more beautiful.
Wow, that is totally, I get that too. I totally agree with everything what you just said, because I'm not perfect either. I have times where I screw up, and this is where I have my moments when I was a grumpy as dude sometimes. But if I'm crazy enough and willing to really just learn from my mistakes and grow beautifully, and just, you know, just doing the manifesting, do the best I can to create those beautiful relationships, because I'm crazy enough to do it, honestly. I'm nuts.
Well, we're about to hop off here, so does anyone else want to add your voice and wisdom and to share to this conversation before we depart ways for the week? Anyone else? Yeah. Oh, well, this has been a beautiful and inspiring session. I am leaving you once again with this contemplation. Tell me what it is that you want. Tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. Let's really let that settle in this week as we start to drop some of the non-essentials and get on this path. Get on the path of our truest, highest self and manifest more beauty in this world. I hope that you have a beautiful week that's filled with, you know, proper boundaries, self-respect, confidence, and success in all your activities. And I'm going to take a peek at my calendar here. So it looks like next week we will not be meeting. So we're going to have the week off next week, but we will be back on March 4th. So I won't see you until then, but I'll look forward to connecting with you next month. Keep in touch in the meantime, and sending you so much love. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful week creating.
You too. Bye-bye.